Here is a summary of the way that we use the quicksort algorithm to sort a list into, in this case, ascending order. But as with bubble sort, you may be asked to sort a list into descending order, so read the question really carefully. This summary is very important. I'd recommend that you have it in your notes, and I will be referring back to it as we look for an example. I think the key things that we need to look at is this one here, which is often a mistake made by pupils. So when we look for the middle item in a list, if there are two middle items, then we take the item to the right. Let's look at an example and see how we're going to use these instructions to order our list of numbers. So we're going to use the quicksort algorithm to sort this list into ascending order. So the first thing we have to do is find the middle item and use that as a pivot. Now this is exactly the example I was describing where we have an even amount of terms. So we will take the term to the right of the middle, which in this case is 23. So this is our pivot. Now, what we're going to do now is start at the beginning of the list and rewrite the list with all the numbers that come before the pivot, 23, and then all the numbers that come after that pivot of 23. So, I'm going to rewrite the list. So, we're going to have 15, 20, 12, 14, 16, 11, 21, 18, 23 is our pivot, and the only number that happens to be in this list greater than 23 is 25. Notice how I've changed it to a box now around the 23. This is because my 23 is now fixed and we shan't worry about that anymore. We now need to look at the two sublists that we've created. We have a list of numbers before the 23 and we have a list of numbers after the 23. Now if I start after the 23, we only have one number. And if you look back to the summary on the slide before, if a sublist contains only one item, then it doesn't need to be sorted any further. So we can just focus on the sublist that is before the 23. Again, we have an even number of items. So we take the item to the right of the middle, which in this case is going to be 16. So we now repeat our steps. We look through the list, starting at the beginning, and we rewrite the numbers that come before our pivot of 16, and then the numbers that come after our pivot of 16. So, working through the list, we're going to have 15, 12, 14, 11, then comes our pivot of 16, and I'm going to fix that now with a square or rectangle around it. 20, 21, 18, and our former pivot of 23 in our sublist with just 25 in doesn't change. Can you now look and decide what are going to be our next pivots? Right, our new pivots are going to be 14 and 21. So again, we need to rewrite our list, sorting our sublists according to whether they are smaller or greater than our new pivots. So our list this time is now going to be 12, 11, 14 is now fixed, 15, 16 is fixed, 20, 18, 21 is now fixed, and the final part of our list doesn't change. Now we still have sublists that contain more than one item, so we need to pick new pivots again. And in those sublists, 11 and 18 will be our new pivots, because we only have 2 items in each sublist, and so we pick the item to the right of the middle, which is 11 and 18 respectively. So our new list is going to be 11, which is now fixed, 12, 14, 15, 16, 18, 20, 21, 23, and 25. As you can see, we've now reached a point where our sublists only contain one item. We still have 4 sublists, but there's only one item, 12, 15, 20, and 25. So we have nothing left to sort, and we can now see that our list is in ascending order.